Chapter 2, Pilgrims Together. I think we scared the lady when we came running out from behind the tree. She kind of jumped and backed up a few steps. "Hi," said Liz. "I'm Liz, and this is my brother Micah. Do you live here?" The lady blinked a few times, then she smiled. "Yes, I do. I just moved into apartment 73. I'm Mrs. Janunsky. It's kind of a mouthful. Janeski. Very nice to meet you." She held out her hand to Liz first, and then to me. We both shook it. "We live over there," said Liz, pointing to our window, "where the yellow curtains are. We're not going to be in those apartments much longer. We're looking for a house." "Oh, have you moved here from far away?" "We used to live in Michigan," said Liz, "in a big house in the country. But then our dad got a new job and we came here." Mrs. Janunsky nodded. "I understand how that feels," she said. "I lived in the country all my life until now." She looked past us to watch a duck swimming across the water. "I sure do miss the country. We used to build tree forts in the woods and go mushroom hunting," said Liz. "And we had a dog," I said. "We gave him away when we came here." "I'm sure you miss him," said Mrs. Janunsky. "You know what I miss? I miss my flower garden. I miss digging my fingers deep down in the soil. I miss my cats. And I miss the sounds of the bullfrogs and the crickets at night. You just can't hear them with all these city noises." "At least we have ducks and geese here," said Liz. "Yes, Liz, you're right. I was just thanking the Lord for this pond. It's like a little piece of home." I said, "Did you get a new job too?" Mrs. Janunsky's eyes looked all wet and shiny. "No," she said. "My husband died a few months ago. My son lives here, and he wanted me to sell the farm and move closer to his family." She took a deep breath and smiled at us. "He's right, I'm sure. This is the best thing for us all." Liz reached out and took the lady's hand. "We're glad you moved here, Mrs. Jans. Why don't you call me Grandma Jan?" said Mrs. Janunsky. She pulled Liz close for a sideways hug. I felt a little too left out, so I spoke up. "I just finished first grade," I said. "I can read books with chapters." Grandma Jan smiled at me. I was glad to see that her eyes looked dry now. I hate it when grandmas cry. "That's wonderful, Micah," she said. "Reading is a lifelong joy. I still treasure some of the books I read when I was your age." That reminded me of something. "We've been looking for buried treasure here," I said. "We think pirates hid it a long, long time ago." "Pirates? Really?" Grandma Jan asked. "Yeah, Liz thinks they might have buried the gold and jewels somewhere around here." "Well, if I find any pirate treasure, I'll be sure to let you know," said Grandma Jan. Liz looked at me as if she thought I was saying a little too much. I changed the subject. "We thought you were a pirate at first," I said. "Micah," said Liz. Grandma Jan tipped her head back and laughed. "A pirate?" She got out the white tissue and dabbed at her eyes again, but I don't think she was sad because she smiled. "Oh, Micah, I don't think pirate is quite the right word for me. Maybe pilgrim." "You mean the pilgrims we learned about in Thanksgiving?" I asked. Liz giggled. "You don't really look like a pilgrim lady. They all wore long black dresses and funny white hats." "What is a pilgrim?" I asked. Grandma Jan looked out across the water again. "That's a hard question, Micah. A pilgrim is, well, I guess you could say that a pilgrim is anybody who's looking for a home." "We're looking for a house," said Liz. "I guess that makes us pilgrims too. We can all be pilgrims together." Grandma Jan winked. "I would like that much better than being a pirate," she said.